This is a reading video for Noragami Season 2, Episode 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, a 5-episode reaction. Click in the link in the description below to go watch my reaction, and then come back here afterwards to see my full thoughts, and theories about these episodes, and what's to come, and so on and so forth. That kind of stuff. So click away now, or be spoiled as to what happened in these episodes. Okay, so a lot happened these episodes. We got a revelation that Yato really isn't by name the Yato god. He is a nameless god. In a way, sort of. Well, I mean, Nora's are. I was gonna say like sort of like Nora's, but Nora's have multiple names, which makes them a Nora. So in this case, he's just a nameless god. It seems like uh, it seems like the father, whoever the father is, who is like orchestrating Nora to like puppet Yato in a way. Whoever that is has been doing it since the very start, kind of thing. Maybe Yato regenerated and was led astray by this father figure, kind of thing. So I'm not sure. I mean, there's a bunch of theories that come in my head about like the whole situation, but that's kind of like the main one that I'm thinking of right now. Is like, he regenerated, and someone found him or purposely did it, much like Bisha's regalia was trying to do, was to like make her reincarnate and then just be her best, kind of thing, right away, like immediately. Train her up, much like what Kofuku's regalia does, or plan is, when if Kofuku uh, reincarnates and stuff, he'll be there to train her, and so on and so forth, or teach her and stuff like that, to be the god of calamity once again. But it was revealed also by the higher gods that Kofuku is also not a god. She's also a nameless god, using the shrine, kind of thing, of Kofuku, the god of poverty. So that is really interesting, and I'm wondering, like, I don't know. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen there, because if it's true, because like we haven't seen Kofuku up in the heaven area, kind of thing, or whatever it is. We haven't seen her up there. So that means that that's not her shrine. It makes sense, right? Like, if it's not her shrine, she won't be able to go up there, kind of thing. So she just kind of sleeps and stuff at the shrine, calls herself Kofuku, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of backstory to those characters that we're just not getting yet, and I'm interested to see if we ever do get information about them later on, or whatever. But we had a cool kind of battle. I mean, it was cool, sad, and all that kind of stuff, epic even. But we had a cool, interesting battle with Bisha and Yato versing each other, kind of thing, because of the Doctor Regalia from Bisha's side, who orchestrated the whole thing. So that whole thing was pretty crazy and nuts and everything, but awesome, because Yuki is now a blessed Regalia, meaning he is like one in a million, kind of thing like that. Like, it's very rare to have a Regalia reforge itself. It's basically like it's showing true devotion to the god, the master, kind of thing. And in this case, Yuki sacrificed himself effectively to save from a blow that Bisha was going to come slam down on him, kind of thing. And because of that, instead of one blade that he used to be, he's now dual blades, which is very cool. Because, like, if you think about it, Bisha has two regalia, twins, that are guns, effectively. And both are independent from one another, kind of like that. If one gets hurt, the other one's fine, sort of stuff like that. But in Yuki's case, he has dual blades. He was cut in half, so I mean, I'm wondering if that might be like a connection there. But he was cut in half by Bisha, and then the two halves kind of melded into two swords. So now he's a dual-bladed, single-thought organism in a way, which is very interesting. All the stuff that he did in the past, like the super sharpness and so on and so forth, that all carries over to both blades. So I'm pretty hyped to see what's going to happen later on in battles and everything with him, kind of thing. See what he's capable of, or like if he enhances his skill even further, kind of thing. But I don't know. It's going to be really cool to see what's going to happen with him. We had the doctor guy basically be unnamed, but at that point they suspected that he was a Nora anyways. He had different names, which makes sense why Bisha's the earring, Kazuma, not Kazuma. What was his name? I want to say Kazuma, but I feel like that's wrong. The earring, Bisha's earring, regalia, her blessed spirit, or blessed regalia. He, what was I saying? What did I say about? I lost track. Okay, so the doctor was unnamed. So okay, he's talking. That's what I was saying. Okay, so yeah, the blessed spirit, the earring. He tried to do like the whole, like freeze them in their place kind of thing, but it didn't work on him. It just didn't work. So maybe because he has multiple names, it only like half worked, or it didn't work entirely because he didn't lock down all of his names. He only locked down like the one name where he had multiple. Those other two were one or however many more names he has. I'm assuming just one, but that one name unlocked him from the original spell, kind of thing. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, so apparently he was a Nora all along, according to the higher gods. And probably went back to father, or whatever kind of thing. Kind of whatever. Bisha's whole backstory is actually pretty interesting. Like, so she had a bunch of regalias in the past and everything. One of them blighted her, and it caused an uproar within the entire Ma clan, I think it was. I think it's the Ma clan. Bisha's clan called Ma, or like the end pronunciation or whatever like that. Ma. Or was it? No, I can't remember. I think it's Ma. They all started attacking each other because they thought that other people were the one to blight the master. So it was all out brawl bloodbath essentially, and then they all kind of erupted into one being. And is it Kirishima? I'm like trying to remember his name. Let me actually look it up real quick. I'm sure it's just a simple Google search. I'm not gonna look at any backstory whatsoever, so don't worry about that. Noragami. Bishima. Regalias. Battle regalias. Kazuma. Okay. Kazuma. Yes, the ma at the very end is the one. Yep, that's the one. Okay, so yeah, Kazuma. I was gonna say Kazuma sacrificed himself to halt Bishima. Bishamon? There we go. Bishamon. Oh my god, these names. Kazuma sacrificed himself. He pushed Yato out of the way, and then he like, threw himself into like the line of slice kind of thing, and that halted everything effectively. Um, but yeah, going back like that kind of like pushed out the whole thing about him saying like it wasn't Yato's fault for what happened in the past. It was him. Like he was the one who issued Yato in the past to defeat the gigantic monster that happened because of all the regalias um, going crazy on each other and everything. So he went to Yato back then in the past and hired him to help Bisha basically. So that's what like. And then we learned later on that like I was like wondering like why didn't you tell her, because like this all could have been like different or something like that, but apparently uh he Kazuma um told himself that he was going to say like the truth or something like that, but he found it easier for Bisha to cope with it if she had a drive, if she had like in a way like this enemy kind of thing to fight. Um, Otherwise, she'd just like self destruct or whatever, uh, without no drive or anything really. So that's why he kept it from her kind of thing. So there was small hints that he like saying like Yato wasn't the bad guy or stuff like that when she was about to unname him, but then just like said go away basically like you're exiled. Um, there was moments like that where like they were uh, they were about to be like unnamed or whatever like that, but then like he kind of like just threw out a little thing like like it wasn't his fault kind of thing, and then like we're like what but later on we figured out the whole backstory behind all that. So I don't know, Kazuma's a pretty interesting guy, though in a way it was his fault that Yato and Bisha were enemies. um but I mean, I guess in a way it's a good thing that he did it, question mark, because otherwise the doctor guy would have just chosen a different path to corrupt Bisha to then um like capture her for himself kind of stuff. Uh it's pretty interesting that like when she was unnaming him, like a scale popped up basically, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, you're a scale. I forgot about that. Like I should have used you more," kind of stuff like that. So, um, it's interesting that like even though he's been around for so long, he was rarely used by her, kind of thing. She never used him. So she totally forgot that he was a scale, kind of thing. So like, I mean, how can you use a scale in combat? It's like I don't know. Um, but I'm wondering about the other regalias, like the broken mirror, and like all that kind of stuff. How would you use a broken mirror in combat? I guess not all regalias are combat worthy, kind of thing. Like the one old god that Yato always goes to every once in a while. He has like a pipe that used to be Yato's regalia. It was Mayu. She's now like a pipe kind of thing. It's either her or somebody else. One of them. I think it's Mayu that's a pipe. So that's not really like a battle kind of thing. But I mean, I guess that god, the old guy god, he isn't really like a fighter. I don't think. I'm not sure if he is or not, but I don't think he is. I don't think all gods are fighters, kind of thing. But in Yato's case and in Bisha's and so on and so forth, they are fighters. They have fighting regalia. They're gods of calamity and so on and so forth. So I'm actually wondering Kufku's regalia. I'm wondering what he turns into. We have not seen him turn into anything yet, and I'm wondering what he does turn into. Um, Have we seen? There was an instance where Kofku interfered with a battle, and I'm wondering if she did have a weapon back then. Ah, man, that's gonna bug me. I feel like probably we did see him turn into a regalia before. Kofku's regalia. The big guy, basically. I'm wondering if. We probably did. I wasn't paying attention. Shoot. Anyways, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens next because I know Bishop doesn't really want to go after um Yato anymore. Um, it's not really like in her playbook anymore because like she knows that he did it to help her, kind of thing. Otherwise, she would have died, or more people would have died, and so on and so forth. So, it's interesting, going to see what's happening next. If like she still kind of holds this kind of sort of grudge with him, but then like whatever, like Yato requires her help, and then she comes to help him out, but like not like fully forgotten what happened in the past, or so on and so forth. So I don't know. We shall see. But without further ado, I think this is going to be where it ends. We saw a lot of the father stuff, but like we never heard him talk. They're hiding his voice away from us, which means that I think he might be a potential main character already in the show. They're just hiding him until the reveal, kind of thing. Um, I don't think it's the god of wealth, the one god who like is doing the masks and things. I mean, I guess it could be, but um, we already saw him making the masks and everything. So you would think that they wouldn't hide his voice when Nora's talking to him. Um, so I think it might be somebody else, a different god. I'm not sure. It's gonna be really interesting to see what happens next batch kind of thing. Next week we have episode 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, the final 5 episodes of season 2. And I'm wondering if we're actually going to see the identity of Father, whatever. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Oh yeah, so we did meet the god of, or the gods of wealth, the 7 gods of wealth, or something like that, lucky 7. Um, and I like how one of them is in Hawaii, basically like one of the Hawaiian gods, which is funny. Um, but yeah, so one of the gods of wealth, he's the one in charge of making masks and things. I wonder like how he plays into the whole Nora father situation. Either he supplies the masks to them or something. I am not entirely sure, but I'm assuming we'll find out pretty soon. Um, Also, Yato being controlled by Nora in a way, being forced to do more kill contracts and so on and so forth. Um, it's gonna be interesting what's gonna happen next, and hopefully, hopefully Yuki and Hiyori kind of forgive him for going away for like a month or something like that now. Um, I mean, maybe he'll tell them the truth, but I'm not sure. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens next. So there you go. So yeah, I will see you guys next week for the final 5 episodes of season 2 of Noragami. Afterwards, we will moving on to the OVAs. There's 4 OVAs to go through afterwards, after the season's over, and so on and so forth. That'll be its next batch afterwards. And it might be late. That one might be like we put on hold for a little while. Maybe. Depends. We'll see how it goes. But we have a lot of shows coming up weekly now with like not only JoJo on Fridays, but we also have Fairy Tail coming up on like, was it Monday or Sunday? One of those. Yeah, so we have a lot of shows, and then like Tokyo Ghoul is coming out, but I think we're gonna hold off on that until later on. And then we have Ruby as well. Ruby's coming around this month, and then just everything's popping up this month. So just expect to have a little bit less main shows for the remainder of like a little while at least, and then once like the new shows start to kind of die down and we finish them up and everything, we'll bring back a third main show. But I'll go into more detail in an update video based on my whole schedule workaround and rework and everything, because I'm gonna have to shuffle shows around because of all these new shows and everything. So keep that in mind. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week for the finale of Season 2 of Noragami. Thank you, buddy.